E-PAG. E-PAG is, we are all members of Eurordis because Eurordis wants to have the patient's internal of each ERN. So, and we respond for all projects to Eurordis. I don't know how I can do. Okay. Okay. Eurordis organize also for us some rules as patient because it's new rules for us how we can collaborate with different work package and different work. We try to define a code of conduct for E-PAG member, but the main point is to raise awareness and share patient needs with their boards. And there is my key point. It's not simple for us because we are many of very rare disease, and it's also very difficult to be in touch with different small group of patients. But we are in touch now at the moment with 20 families or 20 different associations. We have a regular meeting at the E-PAG, and we have a big annual meeting with Eurordis. Next meeting is 10 May in Vienna. And the meeting is very important because we can share the experience between the different HERN projects, how the patients are involved in the different group. And also it's very important for us to understand which is how we can really make the support for each RN to be the focus on the patient's point of view. We have also regular meeting in WebEx, and thank you, Judith, for organizing for us also this type of meeting, because we have also to give a record to Eurordis, what we do, which is the type of involved, which is the collaboration with the work packaging. So we tried last year to involve the patient and ask them which is the work packaging that they are more interested in, because for experience or for special need. And okay, we have a proposal that we are able to cover or to give share internal of the group also different experience or different point of view. This year we have new 3 members for Partenaire and Fairs, and for Leno-Gastaut member. They want to join also the E-PAG group. We start to analyze and to share internal of the E-PAG group the first big key point about registry and data sharing for the consent for ERN and for the using of the data. There is the consent that was accepted internal of Eurordis, and all members accept this type of consent, although there is less information about how they can utilize the data. But we are agree on that, and we try to provide to share internal of the group. For example, we are managing for Dravet Italian and for Dravet Federation the registry residuals with Dravet syndrome data and other syndrome related as SCN1A and PCDH19. And we try to adapt and add it at the normal consent for the registry. We have also another type of consent is about the project Desire, the European project. And we added also another type of consent about the data sharing for ERN. The reason very important to try to connect in the tools that we create for don't duplicate the force and to be able to use the data in a different way. So we start now to collect the new consent also for the existing registry, so to be able to use this type of information in the future also with them. And we hope that with Lieben we can define which type of registry want to join the EpiCARE group, so we can try to find a solution how we can share the information existed at the moment. Registry is very important also for all new associations, because we made last year a survey and we analyze which type of disease have at the moment existing registry. all registries need to adapt to new rules for privacy that will apply from 25 on May this year. And in the last month, Eurorgis tried to understand a little bit more which is the family, or which is the information that the family have or they can feed about the data protection, and try to organize a big survey internal of the Eurorgis members. And we can have the result on the end of this month. And they try to analyze the answer, and they separate the answer for the different diseases. So we can achieve also, and I can share with you, which is the information that we can have on the group ERN, EpiCARE, so they collected the disease for our group of patients. Okay. The EpiCARE registry, but I listened yesterday for leave and read some news, are very different what the patient's register needs. Because for the first version it was very small database with less information. So I need to ask, but in the future I want to know which is the new database or the data set that they want to create with ERN. But we need to find a solution how we can collaborate to achieve both goals, because it doesn't make sense that the association starts with a new registry if there is the opportunity to find a solution. Because the request that I have, there are two associations that want to have a registry these years, and one is Ring 20, we have Edison here, and the other one is Leno-Gastaut. In Italy they work now to realize a registry about Leno-Gastaut. I tell them to wait a little bit to clarify the situation before to start to duplicate the force in different ways. Okay, at the moment, the survey, we have this type of disease with a registry, and we need to keep in mind in the future to define how we can collaborate and figure out the data. GDLK5, I know that starts with an American group. There is also represented here from CDLK, and they make a very good registry with medical information and patient information, but I think they are work in progress, more or less, ready for this year. So, but in the future we need to find also how we can catch this type of data for the EpiCARE group. I need to bring to your attention which are the collaboration or the proposal for the patient point of view. For example, the Dravet Syndrome European Federation asked if it's possible to collaborate in two important key points for our community. One is the emergency protocol, because we need urgently have good quality of emergency protocol to share internal of the European country. And the second point is a point of view about vaccination. I saw yesterday there is a new publication about vaccination, and but we ask your help how we can define a protocol or a common agreement about these two key points. So, and I want to put in your table how we can find internal or guideline or the internal emergency protocol, how we can working together and achieve both focus for the other epilepsy, but also special for the single disease as Dravet syndrome. We have Dravet syndrome. We have a big community, and what we can offer here, we can organize survey. We can achieve some information about which are at the moment the emergency protocol in the different countries. If you need some information, we are able in our community to achieve in a quicker way a lot of information of this type. The other point we want to ask and the family, but we need your help to define the question. We want to make a survey if the patients have made the vaccination in a regular way, or if they have side effects of the vaccination, but really to make a survey to have precise information, because it's not simple to have a general information. We want to, what we can achieve is try to have more data in single cases. So there is the information that we can offer as community. Another big request for another small group of patients is the SGM2A that asked me to create a network and a registry, if it's possible, to grow up as community, but also to have really a reference key doctor or reference network group, because they are in touch with the American group and they want to create in Europe also one group of medical advisors to collaborate for the future or for the future research project. Okay, Ring 20 have a special request about improve the knowledge of the disease in Ring 20, because it's very difficult to achieve a diagnosis, if I understand correct, which is the situation. Educational for physicians for recognize the disease, and the correct genetic test, because not all doctors can identify really which is the type of analysis that is necessary to explore the opportunity, the identification of the Ring disease.
And I think, Isabella, to be fair, I'm not completely just here representing Ring 20, so I think of the other rare epilepsies that don't have, sufficient information, and that would also want to be expanded across more information.
But I think there's no doubt that's what our aim is, bringing the two together. We're just not going to do it all immediately, and we may have to think out of plans on how to do this.
Yes, I start, usually we know that there is a lot of disease, but I start for some input that they give the family to start with, analyze some, and then the doctor can explore if there is the other type of analysis to put together. Okay, at association we try to collaborate also for special events. We have next week a symposium in Verona for Dravet syndrome and other sodium channel related encephalopathy. Okay, and we received the endorsement from EpiCARE, so thank you for that. Other type of dissemination, Ring 20 organized a meeting last year, and there is also a moment to share the information about what is the E-PAG and what is the EpiCARE group. So it's very important. They made really a very nice video to explain to the family which is the goal of EpiCARE, how are the patients involved. Okay, there is what I can present for the patient's point of view. I hope that we can move forward together and please involve in any way the patient for the work packaging in the way that's possible, because I understand it's not simple, but sometimes a point of view or only share the information is a big point also for the patient point of view. Thank you very much.
I may have misunderstood, and perhaps you were already referring to this a minute ago, but I have the impression that you're missing opportunities here. It seems as if the whole idea of patient participation now is from the perspective of individual diseases, very much with questions that relate to that very rare particular disease. Whereas I would expect a network like this to come up with a broader platform of patient and parent participation that is like an umbrella that exceeds the level of the individual diseases and just deals with matters like how do we deal as parents with a diseased child with severe epilepsy? What kind of care pathways are available? How do we reach the doctors or the centers that are most equipped to deal with the care of my child? It's so much from the perspective of Dravet, Ring 20, so where's the overall theme?
Yes, but it's very difficult to catch up with the family or find out the family, because I try, but we need to think that we have 50 different languages. Not all patients have time, because the disease is very complicated. Less association. because as only country association, I tried to contact them, and I hope about this can help a little bit more, especially for the EpiCARE group, because for example, in Italy, I find the association with 6 families who test GM2A, and there doesn't exist a European association.
So you can establish.
But I think there's two. It's
We need to go up because we need to start to find the family before, because I cannot have the knowledge about the different diseases, because I need to share with the different patients.
But I think the issue is maybe there's commonality as well as specificity.
Yes.
And it's approaching it from both sides. I think that's the issue.
I think that the point that is extremely important,
Yeah.
and it was exactly what we were discussing with some of us last night, for example. The main issue here is not to expect that all doctors will know how to diagnose Ring's chromosome 20, because we will never do. It is much more important to create for the rare disorders with epilepsy a common umbrella where both parents and physicians all over be aware of the primary symptoms at the beginning of all these diseases, which are the same. They are exactly the same. Then the child reaches a specialized center, and the specialized center knows how to diagnose the chromosome 20. If we try for each disorder to produce specific guidelines, we will never do it, because this is the job of the centers themselves. I mean,
But also, there's a way that, for example, as we have got more structured or get more structured with what we're doing, for example, the targeted medical therapists,
that's another story.
they can have representation. So I think we can work from both sides.
Can I say something?
Rita and then Arthur.
I have said this earlier also, but now also it's so that only in very large countries you can build up Dravet association or Ring chromosome 20 association. In smaller countries like in Finland, we have epilepsy association where all these small groups work together already. And we should have those involved here also. So you cannot find Dravet in Finland, but you can have an IBE, International Bureau for Epilepsy Patient Organization chapter there, who also have a rare epilepsy task force. And we should have them involved, and they are exactly doing what he is saying now. So I think that would be
And maybe needs to be part of the EPAG group.
So that's a very important point here. So we have this kind of activity already here. So as they said, we need both. We need specific, but also larger.
One of the points where Robbie is to involve more patients also in the EPAG. That is a process not so simple at the moment, but I hope that for the next meeting we can find a solution now, because all groups know that exists in EPAG, but if they don't offer for this, don't forget we are only volunteers. Sorry.
So I very much agree and echo with some of those comments. I think as well as eventually creating guidelines for the rare diseases through the EpiCARE platform, there are definitely commonalities of experience of having someone with difficult epilepsy, and that will apply actually whether you have ring chromosome 20, Dravet, or potentially need epilepsy surgery. As we look across EpiCARE to sort of harmonise things, I think it's very important we don't duplicate things repeatedly for relatively niche markets. And it just struck me when you showed the EuroDIS registry consent form, isn't there a way to perhaps add in that you consent for your data to be shared across the EpiCARE platforms, including imaging, EEG, and whether you indicate an interest if you'd be interested in relevant clinical trials? Because then in one consent form, you could actually tick lots of boxes that were discussed earlier in the day.
Oh, the consent is not something that decides only the patient group, but it's decided for the WorldDIS community. And for the collaboration between the existing registry is not there's not a problem, but we need to wait where we put the information and which is the database that can cover all information. So for the imaging, for example, is not something specialized for the imaging.
But I wonder a little bit whether as a group we should suggest that there's a way of integrating the consent forms so that there is just actually one consent form for the registries, and within that consent form you also consent for data sharing across the EpiCARE platform.
I think that's might be a little bit difficult under the GDPR.
Yeah.
Because we might consent to multiple platforms. When you say want to withdraw your consent from one,
You might have to withdraw from all.
One form, but you can have multiple tick boxes if you like, because under GDPR you have to say, I consent to receiving emails from this, or I consent to sharing my information for that purpose. So long as that one integrated form has all those individual options to tick or untick, and people can add their consent or withdraw consent at any point in time. But they have all the options available to them. Maybe that's the way forward. I don't know.
Yeah, but we need to respect the patient point of view. So
But it's the patients
it's the
that
patient,
are
yes.
consenting or otherwise.
Yes, the big problem to the consent is that the registry need to take care of the information. So if I want to use or not use a data, I need to catch up the patients that agree on that and exclude it automatically the other one. So we need to make a filter for that.
Anyway, we might come back to that this afternoon because we've still got the consent. Okay, so if I move on, otherwise you'll never eat.